like to explain to my residents why I vote certain ways, whether I support something or whether I don't support something. But I did vote no to the vouchers because we voted yes to approve the vouchers in the last 4 city council meetings. However, we have not been paying the vouchers, and for those that are unaware, vouchers mean checks. So when we approve all of the expenses that we incur as a city, services or products that we purchase or utilize, or even salaries for that matter, we vote on this council to approve them or not to approve them. And for the last 4, actually beyond 4 city council meetings, we have voted to approve them. However, the issue is becoming paying them. So we sit here council meeting after council meeting and we approve the vouchers, but we're not sending the checks out. So individuals that have provided services to the city, or even products that we have purchased, if we go to, direct warehouse and purchase office supplies, they're not receiving their money for the goods that we purchase. People that have provided a service to us are not receiving their money for the services they provided to us. Why? Because we are low on funds. The treasurer, I believe Davis asked the treasurer if she had received the list of vouchers that she had asked for, and what she was asking for was a list of the checks that have been approved but not sent out. The stack of checks is getting greater and greater and greater and greater. So that's today, vote no, because we need to fix all of the last council meetings that we voted yes and approved checks and have not been paying those funds. So do we continue to approve vouchers and not pay the ones that we've been approved for the last 2, 3, 4 months? Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. So, we have to correct those behaviors. There is something I received, I think, from council that says, by law, we're to pay or provide a legitimate reason why we're not paying for our services or our products. So that's why I voted no for that. We need to correct that. And I will repeat, we are low on funds. The majority of our funds come from property taxes, which we get most of the time 2 installments. So when you pay your property taxes is when we get our funds, and you pay your property taxes in 2 installments per year. And that's when we get the bulk of our funds. So there are times of the year that we do run a little tight, but in this situation, we're running very tight, extremely tight, to where we're transferring funds from other supposedly restricted accounts to meet some of the obligations that we have to meet. So thus, I am glad that we tabled the theater, because that was going to be my next question, is how can you even put on the agenda, how can you even put your fingers to type to put on the agenda when you know we don't have the money to operate such a venue? Because that money comes directly from taxpayers. So we continue to pay people that live outside the city to come in our city and have a good time. That's coming from taxpayers' dollars, your taxpayers' dollars. So when you pay your mortgage payments and you pay your escrow payments, that money is coming directly out of the general fund, which your dollars go into to pay for the theater, because the theater has not been able to support itself. It has not made $1, so it cannot then use those funds and then operate for the next year or plan accordingly to the next year. It's coming directly from your taxpayers' dollars to the theater, to those artists, to the security, to the personnel that manage the theater. So I'm glad we tabled it, because I would have extremely been like, where's the money coming from? I don't understand. How do you even, present a list of artists to perform and you only got $20,000 in the bank? Makes absolutely no sense. Thus goes to the leadership of this city. I have been asked to elaborate on an issue that I was asked a question about the other day, and that question was, is the city in the habit of giving out personal loans to employees? It's a legitimate question. Those are public funds, and the city's not in the habit of doing it, but has the city done it? Yes, the city has provided a personal loan to an employee, in the amount of $16,817.13.
Mm.
Interest-free.
What?
Interest-free directly from your tax dollars. Now, will the argument be, well, they paid it back? I think that's besides the point whether they paid it back. To the audacity to let those funds walk out the door to begin with is very appalling and should be offended to every one of you that pay your property taxes or any type of revenue that you put to the city. Question becomes, do we let other people get loans, other employees get loans? Hey, you know, employees struggle, they're paid every 2 weeks, but you know, sometimes it's check to check. So do we create a fund that lets other employees borrow money interest-free? Again, government money, tax dollar money, interest-free.
Is that even legal? Is that even legal?
No, we shouldn't. I know we didn't as a council because it never came through this council for approval for that to occur. The mayor should be ashamed of himself for allowing such thing to occur. But instead of being ashamed, the mayor just tries to pay it back for that employee. These are the things that have gone on in this city for amount of months. I've remained quiet because I've been trying to do my due diligence. I've been trying to get my facts straight. I've been trying to work with individuals that are going to make the change. I've been trying to work with individuals that know this is wrong and are reporting it, know that these things shouldn't be done because they've not gone through the council. They've just been circumvented. We've been gone around. We've been ignored. So I've been quiet, but I've been quiet for a reason. But I'm no longer being quiet. You all need to know that this is what's been going on. There have been mistake after mistake after mistake out of the finance team of this city. Thousands of dollars have been lost to mistake after mistake. And is anybody held accountable? No, they're actually rewarded. They're actually given an increase. They're actually given extreme amount of paid time off to enjoy and go work for another municipality while we're left in debt.
Wow.
We need to get our stuff together as a council. But what it takes is things being brought to our attention as a council. Everything should flow through this council. Whether you think we're going to approve it or not, agree with it, disagree with it, that's the whole purpose of a council. That's the whole purpose of having residents be aware of the information. Some of them could be helpful to us. Some of them could do research for us. And they would love to volunteer and give their time and talent to helping us. And that's what we need. We no longer need this loss of money that has gone through this city in the last several years. It's an extreme amount. If I got into it, we'd be here all night. What time is it? At least another 2 hours.
Wow.
And I keep stacks and stacks and stacks of papers like this. And right now, we can't even pay some of our employees the due paid time off that they're due in their contracts each year. Because we're holding monies to move around to, you know, Peter, Paul, and I'm sure as most municipalities, like I said, a couple times a year it gets tight, and you got to make it stretch a couple times a year for most municipalities. But this is beyond that, is what I'm saying. When you look at the true bottom line, this is beyond that. This is financially devastating and will be financially devastating to our city if we don't get this together. Just want to make sure I covered everything. Mr. Gray, you asked a question about the theater being profitable, and it has never been profitable. Let me ask you this, have you FOIA'd your information?
Yes, ma'am.
You received FOIA'd information
Yes,
from the city? Okay, so you have. Okay, I'll talk more with you later on that FOIA'd information. But that is the end of my report. I encourage residents to come out more, ask questions more. You're entitled to ask those questions, and you're entitled to get those answers. And speak with your alderman about it. That's who we're accountable to. We're accountable to you. We work for you, and we're supposed to be working in the best interest of you. So I encourage you to do that. There is a town hall meeting on February 28th, right? Am I mistaken? February 28th at 7 p.m. here at City Hall. So I encourage you to come out and ask questions, not just about the logistics corporation that's on the agenda, but ask questions pertaining to the finances of the city. And I'll be there to help you answer those questions. End of my report.